Across the South Coast, live from Solent University, you're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock. I'm Adam Turner with your Solent Sports News headlines. In rugby, England captain Owen Farrell has been replaced by Marcus Smith at fly-half for Saturday's Six Nations match against France at Twickenham. Smith has been handed the responsibility for running the side after being a sparsely used replacement against Italy and Wales. It is the most significant selection call of head coach Steve Borthwick's tenure.
We've got many good players, and I've said this right from the start, that we want players always fighting to be in this 23. And my job is to select who the right person to start and who the right place to come off the benches.
Into football, Paul Pogba has been left out of the Juventus squad for tonight's Europa League clash against Freiburg. This comes as disciplinary punishment for turning up late to yesterday's training session. The French midfielder has made 2 appearances after returning from his knee injury. Tottenham's hopes for a trophy this season have ended, and Antonio Conte's position is in serious doubt. A disappointing performance against AC Milan saw them exit the Champions League. According to reports, players and coaches at the club are pleading Mauricio Pochettino to return to the club. We are joined by our Spurs correspondent Dan Perry. Hello Dan, what is the ideal replacement for Conte?
Yeah, it's looking like Conte's time is up at Tottenham. Personally, at first I would have said no to this. I thought since Poch, Tottenham have had Nuno, they've had Jose, obviously Ryan Mason. They've been through so many managers. I just thought get Antonio Conte in and keep him and try and work with him and build something. Now I'm sort of thinking it's not going to work out, and yeah, personally I'd like to see Poch back.
Would you not see that as a step back for the club though?
Again, first I would have said yes. I would have thought going back to your previous manager, and I've always said never do that because I just don't think it works out. But I do feel like for a club like Tottenham with the Champions League final and the Capital One and Carabao, I feel like Poch does have unfinished business, and this is the return.
Do you think the fans expect a bit too much from the club?
I don't know. I think when you've got a striker like Harry Kane and your backup's a £60 million striker, you've got a world-class goalkeeper, World Cup winner Hugo Lloris. I think the fans expect trophies, and no trophy for 15 years. Tottenham are becoming a bit of a joke now, and everyone likes to take the mick out of them, and that's just Tottenham fans can't really defend themselves anymore.
So will top 4 be enough this season?
I don't think it's enough, no. But what else can Tottenham do? Like you said, they can't mathematically win the Premier League. They're out of the FA Cup, the Carabao, Champions League now. So I think Spurs fans are just going to have to settle with top 4 if they can even get that. Obviously, you've got Liverpool below them, but with a game in hand. You've got Newcastle up around there as well, so I think it's going to be a tough one for Spurs to even get that.
All right, thank you very much, Dan. Thanks for speaking to us. Continuing on and sticking with North London, a new deal is yet to be agreed with Arsenal forward Bukayo Saka, whose contract expires next year. Saka's teammate Gabriel Martinelli is hopeful the English international will prolong his stay at the Emirates.
I'll be happy because he's a very, very good player, one of the best young players in the world, and he's at his house, Arsenal is his home, and for sure he's happy, and we will be happy as well if he stays and sign a new deal.
According to a report on player workload by FIFA, holding another Winter World Cup is unacceptable. The players have only had 8 days of recovery compared to the usual 37 to fit the European League calendar. Another Winter Cup could be held in 2030, as Saudi Arabia are one of the candidates. Southampton forward Kamaldeen Sulemana has revealed he had conversations with Mohamed Salisu before signing. The pair played together at the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Despite this, Sulemana insisted he made the decision to join himself. Former Reading veteran Chris Gunter has today announced his retirement from the Welsh national team. The 33-year-old holds a record for most Wales appearances, having stepped on the pitch on 109 occasions. To Fratton Park now, Portsmouth winger Ronan Curtis will see a specialist today. Curtis suffered an ACL injury in Portsmouth's 3-1 victory against Bolton on Tuesday night. Exeter City footballer Giovanni Brown has had his court case adjourned. Brown was charged with assaulting a woman last month. The midfielder was originally due in court today, but the date has been changed to the 23rd of March. Over to women's football now. Chelsea manager Emma Hayes has called for more support for players returning from pregnancy. Midfielder Melanie Newports made her first start last night since returning from maternity leave. Hayes appointed a pelvic floor coach to work with Newports.
If a player tears her ACL, you do everything possible to get them back on the pitch. 9 to 12 months. We should be exactly the same with a woman who gets pregnant and has a baby. But we don't. And I think we have to ask ourselves more seriously why that is.
Corinne Diacre has been sacked as manager of the French national team 4 months before the World Cup. This comes after several players, including captain Wendy Renard, announced a boycott and refused to play. Diacre came out and said she's the target of a dishonest smear campaign. England have lost by 6 wickets to Bangladesh in their first match of the T20I series this morning. Bangladesh got to have the rate early and were comfortable until the end. England captain Joss Buttler was the only batter to get his half-century.
We couldn't manage to get away, and we were probably 20 short of where we'd like to be with our score, and I think that meant we chased it a little bit in the field.
Team tennis now. Emma Raducanu has revealed her wrist injury has resurfaced ahead of today's match at Indian Wells. The 20-year-old has only been able to play 4 matches this season, and she's hopeful of playing through the pain. Wimbledon is set to lift its ban on Russian and Belarusian players. It was the only major tournament to take such measure last year. The athletes will be allowed to play under a neutral flag unless they show support to Putin. That's all from us for now. I'll be back in an hour with more breaking news. Remember, you can keep up to date on our website, solentjournalism.co.uk. Stay tuned for some brilliant news in the next hour. Goodbye.